Great. So do we want to get started? Should we say who we are? He probably hasn't seen our faces that often.
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Ashley Trembley.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Hi, my name's Gricelda.
Cool. Okay.
Should we say our yes?
What?
What's your idea?
Subject?
You read my mind.
I'm doing social studies.
I'm doing music.
My subject is PE.
Nice.
That's cool. We're all doing different stuff.
Yes.
All right. So let's jump into it, I guess. Instinct theory. Should we give like an overview, like a recap of what it is real quick?
Yeah, so basically I put motivated to behave by evolutionary programming. So
Right.
like things we don't really think about, but we just like feel motivated to do it anyways.
Yeah. I keep looking off to my notes, all the stuff that I wrote about it.
Don't worry, I'm doing the same.
Yeah, I put the same thing, that it was evolutionary programmed that way. Like we're supposed to be evolutionary programmed. I keep saying that wrong. Evolutionarily programmed. I feel like the problem with that though is that it doesn't explain our behaviors, like our instincts. It just describes it. It just talks about it, like identifies it, and we understand that. But like the real useful thing would be to explain it. So I don't really see how that's too helpful.
Not really for like your everyday life or for like your personal and professional life. So there's basic ones that we do just because they're part of us, like instinctive or like drive theory. I think the ones that are more relatable to our personal and professional life would be, let's see, incentive. So a lot of external rewards, or even humanistic would be a big one. And for me, the one that I chose for the video thing at the end, oh, I forgot what it's called. I chose expectancy for that one.
Oh, okay. I think for that flip grid, I chose humanistic.
Ooh,
Okay.
I chose self-determination theory.
Oh,
I
we all
didn't
chose
even
different
know
ones.
either.
Okay.
Yeah. I really like the self-determination theory. I was so I just like made my video, but I got really excited talking about it. It's just like the idea of like growth, having that growth mindset, and that it's a journey. I'm like, yes, I 100% feel that, especially with music. I mean, it's about the process of the music. You're not like going to jump into it knowing what it's exactly about and be motivated to do it. You're just going to look at it and be like, okay, this is a process. This is a journey. I need to learn bit by bit to get to where I need to be. So, yeah.
What do you think would be the pros of your the self-determination, or the cons?
Oh, the cons. Ooh, I didn't really think about the cons to it.
I wrote here in my notes, doesn't do a whole lot to consider limitations of applying this theory for special cases like students who've suffered trauma or bad home lives or poverty. Like I understand it's a theory and it's not considering all things, educationally related like that. But I feel like as teachers, it may not be the best in applying it to special cases like that.
For humanistic?
Sorry, for self-determination.
Okay, I thought you were talking about yours.
Oh, no.
I think self-determination would have to do a lot with like students, because we would have to get them to want to learn, want to grow, and have that growth mindset.
Right. And we need to create that community for them too, because sometimes they don't have that community at home to want to have that growth mindset. So that was another thing I really liked about it. But I do like how you mentioned, Julie, that it doesn't work in all special cases. But then I feel like that's when you're going into like learned helplessness. You're working with people that like are struggling to be motivated.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to know more when I was reading these theories. Was kind of like, how do people learn helplessness? I wish that they had expanded more on that. I understand that these theories are just identifying these phenomena, but like, how do students learn self-helplessness? How did they get there to begin with? Because I feel like that would be useful to apply the theory to understand how they got in that situation or that mindset to begin with. But it does do a good job of like self-determination theory in particularly does a good job of like giving us guidelines for changing their mindset. Just some things here and there, like it says provide unexpected feedback. I feel like that was across the board. The theories for internal and external was provide unexpected feedback that's positive. Avoiding excessive external rewards. That was another thing that was across the board for all the theories. Working on building students as locus of control. I wish there was more guideline on that, like more of a framework on how to adjust their locus of control. You know what I mean?
I feel like that one's also tied into like, in a way, learned helplessness. It's like, how does it start? Where does it start? Actually, I used to work at a charter school in West Fresno, and like those were the kids that I get literally like external locus, learned helplessness. Like they literally were failing high school, so they ended up with us just to catch up. And it's just like, and then you meet the families and then you're like, okay, I'm starting to get a grasp of why that's happening, because maybe your home life isn't the healthiest. So
Yeah, that's when you have to really get to know them and learn what their experience is with motivation. Maybe their parents didn't go to their games or something, or they didn't give them that motivation, like good job or thank you for washing the dishes, like little praises. They just like made them do it, or else it was the opposite, right? They have to avoid getting punished or avoid, getting yelled at or something. So then that's when they do that learned helplessness. So they don't do it because they want to, they do it to avoid getting punished or.
sometimes,
Yeah, I feel like that ties back more to instinct theory.
yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, I like that point.
Yeah,
But
sort of.
sorry, I've neglect.
Oh,
I just
go ahead.
wanted to throw that out there. Neglect is another issue, like not even being praised at all. But
Yeah, see, that's what I had the issue with self-determination theory for, is that I felt like it was describing a framework for students that have completely normal home lives, but like, does it apply to students whose circumstances really are out of their control, Is that helpful? It feels like toxic positivity is what I'm thinking. Like, it's fine, just change your attitude. And yeah, it's helpful. It could even be helpful for those kids, but I feel like it's for us, we have to be careful not to just do like a one size fits all sort of approach. And just because this theory tells us that it works, that like students' home lives might be different circumstances and things might really be out of control for them. And this might not be too helpful in that case. It might even make them feel worse. But I don't know. That's just a thought. I'm sure that there are still elements of it that you could apply though, like the positive feedback and
right. And then like the types of positive feedback, I was watching that video, really interesting, with how one group of tested students, they were told that they were really intelligent, and then the other group was told that they had really good effort. They must have put a lot of effort into it. You did good. And just knowing the difference between that kind of praise and how that can bump up growth versus just kind of capping them out at like, okay, you're this smart and that's it. So I thought that was really interesting too.
yeah, I actually seen this. That's the crazy thing. I really, really liked that theory because I saw that applied in real life, like on an actual kid that I knew. It wasn't related to me, not my family member, but it was a kid in my life that I interacted with a lot. And her mother would always praise her in a way that was like, you're innately intelligent. Like, you're so smart. That's why you can do this. Or she's so like, she would brag as a mother should, like being proud of her child. But like, it was always about innate intelligence. She's so smart, so she can do this, or she's going to go do this, or she's going to go graduate high school early. And I was like, that doesn't seem super healthy because you're putting like these really heavy expectations on her. And then I did notice that like she would get frustrated really easy whenever something wasn't going her way, or she was having trouble with something. She'd be like, oh, well, this is too hard because I can't do it, you know? So
Yeah,
I was like,
that's when you like
yeah,
start to lose motivation, right? So you have all these
exactly.
expectancies and you go the opposite way. Now I don't want to do this because it's too easy. So why am I gonna waste
Right.
my time? Or I already know I'm
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, I felt like she was like a textbook example of Dweck's theory about that. Like, I feel like she's gonna have a hard time later in high school when things become much more difficult, or she's gonna run into things that like she's not familiar with, and then she's gonna get frustrated because she's not gonna get that praise anymore of like you're innately intelligent, you're the cream of the crop sort of thing. And I feel like that's a dangerous mindset. Just
Yeah.
thoughts.
So how would we use these in our classrooms? How do you ladies?
Well, I feel like that one's kind of obvious. Like, you gotta be careful how you praise students. I feel like it's about building a culture in the classroom about, how you phrase praise and stuff like that, or like the yet mindset, like when students don't know something or they failed something, and you go, it's all right, you don't know it yet. It kind of, those little things build up in their like psyche that they will eventually, because my teacher believes that I will eventually learn this sort of thing, just that I don't know it yet, rather than, oh, you failed, well, that's the grade you got, so I guess you're not good.
Yeah. I know in my classroom, I fear, and I've seen it in my videos that I tell them that they're doing good when they're not doing good. And like, is that capping them? Like, do they think they're their best now and they're not going to continue to grow past that? Or just like saying that, oh, this is easy, you should know this. Well, maybe it's not easy,
Yeah, I feel like that's a dangerous mindset to have.
Yeah, so that's when you have to use like the sandwich approach, right? Like
Yes.
one constructive criticism, but we could work on this for next time, and then something else you also did like really well in that one. So that 2-1 ratio.
Right.
And then not like blanket statements like, oh, you did great, but like you did really well on the way you talked about whatever, right? Like something specific.
Right. Praise where they really deserve praise, but also structured in a way that's like, it's okay if you fail. I guess like almost building a culture of celebration around failure, because at least you tried, like don't encourage failure every time, but encourage that it's like okay to fail or not succeed to the best of your abilities the first time.
I feel like that would change motivation in your classroom, because not enough are told that it's okay to fail. Because once they fail, like motivation's lost. Like, oh, I can't do this. I know that was the case for me in math. I'm like, can't do math. I can do basic math, but like, yeah, just in grade school growing up, just like keep telling myself I can't do math. So I just like convinced myself I can't do math and lost all motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. My second grade teacher, I like can remember it all the way back to the point where it started. My second grade teacher basically told me like, it's okay, math isn't your strong suit. And then from then I just like made excuses forever about that. And I was like, well, I'm just not good at math. So it's okay that I'm like not great at this subject. I don't have to try to do better. That's what it felt like for me. It was like, it's okay, I have an excuse. I don't need to try to be better than this.
Yeah, so mine was like the opposite. I was like really, really good at math. So once I got to like the upper level, like calculus and stuff, I was like, well, I get A's on the test. I'm not motivated to do the homework because why? I don't care about my grade. Like I'm good at it. I don't want to do it. It's not challenging anymore. So I was kind of like the opposite.
That's cool.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Yes. So what other ones should we discuss?
How about your personal life? Or what specifics in the professional life? So what have you used as motivation, or planning to use, like maybe we want to implement these in our future classes?
I feel like I definitely want to incorporate more locus of control, because a
Yeah.
lot of my students do feel like how well they do is sort of out of their control. And in some cases it is. Like, I have impoverished students, I have students with very bad domestic home lives. And with that, you can't really expect the same results as if you applied these theories to students that have perfectly normal home lives. But I would like to build a more sense of that students have like autonomy and control over the classroom. I feel like that would make them feel more motivated, and I want them to have a little more investment
Yes.
by
So
giving
how
them.
would you implement that? Like what specific
I feel
techniques do
like
you use?
a really base one would be to give them assignment options. So like maybe a more artistic version of this one objective, or maybe like some students, I have some students who prefer to work alone and are text-based learners. So they would probably prefer a paper. Other students like cannot work unless they have social interaction because they like have ADHD or ADD and they just cannot focus alone. So I would have them like work like maybe 2 or 3 not homework assignments, but like activities where they can choose what they want to do to complete this one objective. And I feel like them getting to choose would create a little more investment on their part. They care more about doing it because they chose it. That's just one example.
Yeah.
I like the giving them the like a student-centered classroom, even for like PE, like they could choose, or maybe like a vote on what units we want to do this semester. So maybe not everyone loves football, right? Especially like the girls in class. So they get like a more of a like a choice.
Yeah, that would be good.
There'll be more motivation to actually do it. Right?
Yeah, I would feel really out of control in a PE classroom where like I was made to play football with the dudes, because I would just feel so incompetent. Like, I don't know the rules. I know I'm not good at running, and I'm not hand-eye coordinated at all. So it's just like I would feel automatically like at the starting gate, I would be failing. I would have that expectation going into that. So that's good. The choices, I feel like. What about you, Ashley?
So that one's a tricky one with music. So I
Oh
know
yeah.
my master teacher for my next semester is going to like show the students some potential songs just to get a feel. So I know she's doing that, but I know at the elementary level where I was at this semester, like we just don't give that option to the kids. I know one of the teachers did give that option and it was just a mess. So they decided, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're just going to choose for them. And they choose really good songs. The kids have like great teachers who pick a lot of fun songs. So just giving ownership, I guess, to the performance is what we can do for them. Like, so this semester we recorded them for their winter concert, and then we shared it with their parents. So it's all on their school website. So it's like they get to watch it, they get to share it with their parents. They get to be like, hey, we worked hard on that, and take ownership that way. But yeah, I'm excited to see it at a higher level and really see how that works out. I've yet to get there, maybe in a month.
That's pretty cool. I find that interesting. I feel like that's easier to do with certain musical, what would I say? Like a choir versus a band. Like everybody in the band has to play the same song, but in choir, like solo performances are a thing in recitals more
Depends.
often than band. I don't know.
Yes and no. So like festivals, we don't get that option. We just sing the songs that we learn together. But like for our winter concert, we were recording. So we had some soloists come up and audition to sing by themselves or in a small group. So there was that. It's really cute. It just depends.
Yeah, I feel like that one is kind of tricky with music. All right, let's see which one else. Self-determination theory is good. Yeah, I kind of harped on it, but it is good. And I feel like that would be really good for applying to students who have pretty normal lives. Let me see. I feel like motivation in general over the pandemic has really taken a dive. And I don't know if that's like in combination with the pandemic and like that recent video that we watched in module 8 about like social media like ruining kids' ability to focus and like take on anything hard because they're seeking distraction. Really act motivation, and I feel terrible because I don't know how to build that motivation when they're just like so done. They're like emotionally burnt out.
Yes. I observed a teacher for a shadow assignment for like CI 151. And she had all the kids just work with paper. And it's because she was done with laptops. She's like, these kids have been working online all semester. Like maybe her approach was to get them remotivated. Like, hey, we're going to change it up. We're not going to be on the laptops. We're not going to be on the tablets like we were. We're going to just use paper. So it was really interesting to see their engagement. They were pretty engaged. Maybe it did change their motivation. This was like a 4th grade classroom, like gen ed. So I liked that approach.
Yeah, that's good. I wish I could like incorporate some paper assignments into mine, but my mentor teacher just refuses to do paper.
Yeah.
So I think that the same thing can be done as long as they're in groups, but like just having them sit on their laptops all day by themselves, it just seems to be the thing that all the teachers in my school do. And it's just like, yeah, I would be pretty unmotivated to just stare at my screen and not talk to anybody all day.
Right. Yeah, I feel the same way.
And there's like distractions on their computers, and then they're motivated to do other things, like maybe go on YouTube or whatever else is allowed that they could get on.
Yeah, they do. They definitely play video games, and they like just don't care when we see them, when we tell them to like start working. They don't care. They're just like, whatever, I'm
So
gonna play my
then
video game.
that's when you have to use that as motivation. Okay, if you finish this assignment, then I'm okay with you playing this game after, but we have to do this first, right? And maybe that motivates them. Now you get 10 minutes of free time at the end if everyone finishes it, or if the majority of the class finishes it.
Yeah. They have such motivation to play these games, like all of my students. And I kind of wish that there was like social studies in the format of a video game. You know, like I wish a company would do that, where it's like historically accurate, but also sort of gamified, where they have motivation to like meet the next level and there's like challenges and stuff like that. But if it's like in the form of work, they just don't want to do it. This semester is a whole thing for me. The
Yeah.
kids are having some trouble this semester. My mentor teacher's like, I've never seen anything like it. But I feel like that would be really useful. And I wonder if something like that exists, because that would really play on their motivation.
Games. So I've actually used games to motivate my kids. They'll come in, they'll start chatting, and I'll be like, you know what? If we can't get to the lesson, we won't get to the game. And it is what it is. And then they go, oh, game? Oh my God. And it's just like silly little games where like someone leaves the room, they have to guess who's missing, hopping on sticks, competition, just like little games to like get their brain going again. But yeah, I've definitely used games for motivation. And then Star Singer. So I'll give them like a little sticker at the end saying, oh, you participated, you had fun with us today, you get to be the line leader. So those were my incentives this semester. Did you ladies have anything?
I'm not like student teacher right now, but I am a substitute teacher, and that's like really hard to get them motivated. But most of the time I go around, I ask them like, why haven't we started? Usually they're just it's not just because they're not like motivated. Like a lot of times they do want to do the work, but they don't have like a pencil or something or a piece of paper. So you have to go around, ask them, just say, nice job. Thank you for little praises like, thank you for getting your paper out, or thank you for having your pencil. And that makes them feel like, oh, like I'm doing something, or thank you for at least putting your name on your paper so far. I love doing that. And it just gets them started, gets them a little bit motivated to start to do the work. Also, what else have I done? Like even at the end of class, if like I've had them for like a long term, then I get to know them, and I'll be like, well, at the end of class, like we could watch a video or something. Or I think I did like videography. I'll even like do like embarrassing things like, hey, Miss Armenta, you want to make a TikTok? Sure, if we finish our work today. And then I'll like go and like do a little, I suck at dancing, but I'm okay with embarrassing myself. Or like play little games like, can we throw this ball like to each other? But like, okay, at the end of class, we could do that maybe.
That's fun stuff. I'm actually pretty afraid of making TikToks with my students. I feel like I'm going to get in trouble somehow.
I don't have a TikTok.
Oh, good for you. I know that one time my mentor teacher did tell them that if they got their work done, they could play loteria. And because a lot of the students in my class are Spanish speaking, and they loved it as far as I know. And I feel like that would be fun. I feel like there should be games like in that version, like popular games, but like academic, like history loteria or music loteria or something like that. Like that would be fun. We'd probably have to make something like that ourselves, but it'd be subject matter related.
There's definitely like, you could definitely use that. I think in my history class we did like Jeopardy all the time, which was always fun. And there's competition. I think I did that like in 7th grade or something, and it was really fun.
Yeah, I feel like that would be fun. Like I have this idea of doing like Family Feud, but history. And I feel like the kids would be so engaged in that, so motivated, because it's like a social thing. And across the board on all these theories, like socialization has a pretty big amount to do with all of them.
Right. And culture. I mean,
right. Yeah.
That does too, even though it's not really specified in here. But
right.
Yeah, just like the loteria, like you said, that's cultural.
Oh yeah, they really loved that.
Yeah.
Let me see. I was trying to find a note, but I can't find it. Yeah, so I feel like we could play on their interests for motivation. Not necessarily one of the theories that we're supposed to be discussing, but I feel like it's useful for motivation.
It is useful.
Stuff that they like, you know.
Right. So, I like that. So we need to get them out of learned helplessness. We need to change their locus of control. We need to change their mindsets, which is so hard sometimes when you don't have too much time with them. And we need to find their interests. I feel like I'm just summarizing what.
Yeah.
Small chunk of what we talked about.
I feel like the hardest thing to do would be to increase intrinsic motivation, because so much of school is like extrinsically motivated, like you're competing for the best grades or just better grades in general.
True.
Scholarships and, extracurriculars and whatnot, or just not being punished, things like that. But I feel like it's like reins on a horse, like you can't do one without the other. You need them both to have a healthy balance. But like in one hand you've got extrinsic, and the other hand you got intrinsic, and you have to try to find the right balance to steer them on like the right path or whatever. And I feel like that's a little difficult when so much of it seems extrinsic.
Yes. Sorry, someone. We're good. Alrighty.
Yeah, but the one thing that I really agreed about with the reading was that it said that to increase intrinsic motivation, like just give them appropriate praise that they actually deserve for doing a job well done or better than their past work. And I feel like that could be really helpful. That's probably where I'd start. It seems like the easiest place to start.
Yeah, I really feel like we need to change the way we're approaching motivation. Like we're just sticking to old ways. It's worked before. We're like, it's going to work again. But of course, this class is challenging us and making us think outside the box, which I really appreciate. So yeah.
Yeah. If we can do it better, we should. Always growth mindset.
Yes, growing self-determination. Yes.
Yeah. Let me see here.
I think we're good on time.
Yeah, I was trying to see. It doesn't say how long we've been recording. But I feel like we've gotten at least near 30 minutes if we haven't got 30 minutes yet.
Yeah, probably maybe about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Let's see.
I wish it had like a timeline somewhere where I could see how long we've been recording. Last time I looked at the clock when we started, it was like 3:05 maybe. I don't think 2 minutes off is too bad. Okay.
Yeah, I don't
All
think
right.
I totally. What do you guys think?
No, I think we're good. I think we got enough. We talked about all the main stuff that we really wanted to talk about, I think. All right then. So you guys have the recordings on your computer. You can
I
locally.
accidentally did not record on my part. I think we started and then I didn't click record. So I just want to let you know.
That's
Oh,
okay.
okay.
I'll share
So sorry.
mine just in case too, and Julie can share hers.
Right. Yeah.
whichever
What
you
I'm
want
going to do is I'm going to let this convert to a local recording on my computer. That'll probably take a while because my internet sucks. But when